The early rivalry between the Beatles and the Rolling Stones was generally a healthy one, except for the time when Rolling Stones frontman Mick Jagger heard a Beatles song on the radio that made him feel sick. The song in question was released in 1962, 1 year before the Rolling Stones released their debut single. Over 2 decades later, Jagger introduced the Beatles during their induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In his speech, he described the feeling of almost getting sick after hearing the Beatles' hit song. Jagger began his story by painting a picture of early 1960s England. American pop music overwhelmingly dominated the UK charts, and skiffle and rock music were still underground. At that time, the Rolling Stones were playing in small clubs in London, performing Chuck Berry songs and blues. Jagger jokingly described how they were a scruffy group that believed they were completely unique, with no one like them. However, when they heard about a band from Liverpool with long hair, scruffy clothes, and a record deal, they were taken aback. That band turned out to be the Beatles, who had a song with a bluesy harmonica called Love Me Do. Jagger said that when he heard this combination of elements, he almost felt sick. He thought to himself that even if it meant learning to write songs, he had to catch up with them. Although the scruffy lads from Liverpool seemed like a serious threat to the Rolling Stones, the two bands quickly developed a symbiotic relationship. In fact, John Lennon and Paul McCartney were the songwriters behind the Rolling Stones' first chart success, I Wanna Be Your Man. Just as iron sharpens iron, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones helped push each other to greater creativity, success, and influence. Having two rock bands rise at the same time in the UK turned out to be one of the best things for rock music in general. Their typically healthy, at times tense rivalry kept things fresh, exciting, and new. Jagger went on to say that he and his bandmates were fully aware of the Beatles' unique approach to writing and crafting pop music. He also mentioned that their success in America helped break down barriers for other English musicians who followed, which he greatly appreciated. Jagger recalled that they went through some strange times, with a lot of rivalry in the early years, but they always ended up as friends. He considered those years to be some of the greatest times of their lives.